Hello, welcome to all friends and new friends. Thank you very much. The response to the video where Rav Michael Dov Streicher was performing his song was very gratifying, and thank you very much for subscribing and for the nice comments that you made about his song, his singing of the Zmiros that he did. Thank you very much. And anyway, now today we have something interesting. We have an article of the Divrei Torah of, this is Rav Kushalevsky on the Torah, Parshas Tzav. Parshas Tzav. And it's an interesting article about the supernatural Torah, that the Torah is above nature. Well, let's get into it right now. Vaydaber Hashem, and Hashem said, Vaydaber Hashem, and Hashem said, V'yeis kol ho'eda hakel el Pesach oel moed, and gather the congregation at the entrance of the Ohel Moed. V'tikohel ho'edo el Pesach Ohel Moed, and the congregation gathered at the entrance of the Ohel Moed. This is one of the times when a small area contained an inordinately large number of people. The entire nation fit into the entrance of the Ohel Moed, Rashi. In other words, gather the entire congregation at the entrance of the Ohel Moed. So the Ohel Moed was not large enough to contain the whole nation. So, in other words, this was a miraculous event. The Rashi says this is one of the times when a small area of a couple of feet or yards, whatever it was able to contain an inordinately large amount of people. So many people. The entire nation fit into the entrance of the Ohel Moed, Rashi. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's see what Rav Tzvi says about it. We find another occasion on which Moshe managed to create such a space-defying miracle. At Mei Meriva, in front of the rock from which Moshe drew forth water, the entire nation managed to crowd in. The entire nation was able to go into that small area where Moshe was to draw water from. The people were thirsty. So Moshe asked Hashem to do a miracle. So anyway, Rashi, Bamidbar 20:10. So a small amount of people were able to be in, a large amount of people, such a large amount of people were able to be in that small area. Interestingly, we find Moshe's disciple, Yehoshua, performing the same feat. In relaying Hashem's prophecy between the carrying poles of the Aron, Yehoshua also managed to fit the entire nation into a very small area. So in other words, between the poles that carried the Aron, the case that the luchos were put in, the tablets were put in, that is a relatively small area. The entire nation was able to fit into that area. So that is a very miraculous, it's a very miraculous event. How can we understand the fact that Moshe managed to work this miracle multiple times, while the only time Yehoshua managed to do so was alongside the Aron? This is because Torah has the power to overcome natural limits. Because the Torah is above nature, the Torah. As is taught in Avos, that's Ethics of the Fathers, 6:1, chapter 6, the first Mishnah, Torah elevates a person above all things. If a person is learning and doing the Torah, fulfilling the Torah, it elevates the person above all things. An example of this is reported by Rav Chaim of Volozhin in his Ruach Chaim on Avos. He tells of a lady who came weeping before the Tzav that her son had fallen unconscious and was on the verge of death. The Tzav said apologetically that he was not able to perform wonders. Am I in Hashem's place? But the lady would not accept this. She proceeded to rebuke him, shouting, quote, I am not turning to you, but to the merit of the Torah within you. The Tzav agreed to offer the merit of his current learning to heal the child, and the child recovered. So in the merit of the Torah that the Tzav was learning then, the child, Hashem, healed the child. Moshe embodied, so in other words, the Torah has great power. Moshe embodied Torah itself. The Shekhinah spoke through his mouth, and he was akin to the Aaron itself, because he contained the Torah, because he was so close to Hashem, his relationship to Hashem. He could therefore perform miracles. Yoshua, on the other hand, was not Torah itself. He was the student of Moshe. However, he was able to utilize the merit of Torah on occasion. He was a great person, very great. So he was able to utilize the merit of Torah on occasion. We can't understand how great he was, of course, Yoshua. We can do the best we can. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Hence, his ability to perform the miracle of fitting a multitude into a small area could be accomplished only when he was close to the Aron, which contained the Torah. So therefore, he was able to perform this miracle of having the whole nation of Israel inside the sticks, the rods that carried the Torah, which is a very small area. He was able to have the whole nation of Israel enter there to hear the words of the Torah. His ability, so therefore, hence his ability to perform the miracle of fitting a multitude into a small area could be accomplished only when he was close to the Aron. The Aron is the ark that contained the Torah, which contained the Torah. So let us not underestimate the power of our Torah. So we shouldn't underestimate the power of our Torah. That's very important. And this is from Parshas Tzav. So thank you very much. Thank you for thank you for your great response by listening to Rav Michael Ber Streicher, and thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you so much. Take care.